Welcome back to WagerTalk TV. I'm your host, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com, joined by Tony Mejia, also WagerTalk.com, and mid-major Matt Joseph, SportsMemo.com. And we're going to be breaking down the Sunday night football game for this week, the national TV game on NBC this Sunday night, December 8th, between the Broncos and Chiefs, an AFC West rivalry. And what an interesting game to talk about, guys. You know, last week we saw something that we've never seen before in the NFL, where there was no quarterback on the roster. A huge line move, Tony, is that the Saints basically went from about 4 to 5 point favorite to about a 14, 15 point favorite within a day. Total dropped from about 43 down to 36. It barely stayed under just because the Saints almost pushed it over on their own. But the big news is the Broncos are expected to have their quarterbacks back. We're doing this video Tuesday night, December 1st. Tomorrow on Wednesday, they're supposed to get the three quarterbacks back from the COVID protocol, assuming another negative test. Tony Mejia, how do you approach this game? Drew Lock is penciled in as a scheduled starter right now as a 14-point dog at Kansas City.
Well, yeah, man, it helps to have a quarterback out on a football field, right, Steve? Presumably, Denver will have three prepared to play. No Kendall Hinton sightings in this one. You know, he completed one pass for 13 yards, and then an offense was non-existent for Denver. Obviously they had to play the game, but really had no chance from a competitive standpoint. And we've seen this matchup already once this week on October 25th, once this season, I should say. The Chiefs won 43-16 without the benefit of a huge day from Patrick Mahomes. He only threw for 200 yards in that game. Mecole Hardman was the leading receiver with just 57 yards. And it was a pick six from Daniel Sorensen and a 100-yard kickoff return from Byron Pringle that helped do the damage in that blowout. The Broncos have lost 10 straight against Kansas City dating back to 2015, and they're not going to get the benefit of Mother Nature slowing down Mahomes and the Chiefs offense because it's going to be a clear 29-degree night is what's expected at Arrowhead. You know, I see no reason why anybody should think that Denver is going to challenge here, but they probably will flirt with covering the number. For starters, I think it'll be great for that offense to have somebody throwing the ball. I mean, they didn't even advance past their own 47-yard line against the Saints. Presumably they'll look to get going early. Might play the over on that, just simply for the first half standpoint, for getting some juice back out there and trying to liven things up. Maybe they'll be aggressive.
Yeah, Matt, you've done great this season. Mid-major Matt at sportsmemo.com. Matt, you specialize in NFL props. I know you've been crushing it this year with the props. You also look at team totals occasionally. I got screwed, I feel, on the total last week. The only game I missed last Sunday on a 3-1 Sunday was the over in the Kansas City-Tampa Bay game. Not sure how that one, Matt, didn't get over the total with 798 passing yards combined between the two teams. But it really looks like it's hard to slow down Kansas City. So do you think Denver has a chance, Matt, at staying within the two touchdowns? And also, do you think there's maybe some turmoil on that team with the quarterback situation? I mean, the three guys weren't wearing masks in a meeting last week. That's why they had to sit out, even though they were negative. And it cost them any chance to beat the Saints. Matt, how do you approach this Sunday night football game between the rivalry Chiefs-Broncos?
Well, I mean, I would say it would be a bigger issue if they were in the race. I mean, they're just not a very good football team right now. And look, I think that, there are people who are saying, why did they play that game? I mean, I think you somewhat do punish the Broncos. A, you're not the Ravens, so you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. And B, the quarterbacks didn't help out the NFL when they talked to them about it, and they weren't wearing masks, so therefore they were kind of punishing them. And I don't really mind it. Look, Kendall Hinton did what he could, and obviously we're seeing a better situation, hopefully, from the Broncos for this game. You look at their team totals. I mean, the Chiefs team totals 30.5. Look, I think the Chiefs can go over that number. We saw last time. It's funny because whenever you see the rematch, you kind of want to go over the box score of the previous game and say, well, what can we pull from it? You can't really pull much from it. Patrick Mahomes was 15-23 for 200 yards. But you look down at how the Chiefs scored. Daniel Sorensen interception return. Byron Pringle kickoff return for a touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's been in somewhat of a disappointment as of late, had 8 carries for 46 yards. So that the Chiefs are going to want to get their offense going a little bit. Mahomes is in that MVP race, probably leading the MVP race right now. So I think the over for the Chiefs team total, when you look at 30.5 and you've got an offense like that and a Broncos defense that's probably going to be on the field a lot. The other thing that would be good for the over here, Steve, is the Broncos have been the king of the garbage time. Drew Lock has thrown multiple touchdowns, it feels like, in the fourth quarter when it doesn't really matter. So if you get a Chiefs team that's going to score 31, 35 points, all you need is a couple from the Broncos, which they could potentially get in the fourth quarter. So, yeah, the over's not a bad look here.
Yeah, it's interesting too, guys, because the over quickly shot up from Sunday night from 48.5 up to 51. I think once the quarterback situation looked like it might get a little better for Denver, 51, of course, a very key number. I'd say there's about a 3% chance games can land on 51 in the NFL. And Matt, I love that team total play, by the way. I mean, Kansas City, the only two of the last seven, they haven't had 30 or more. They had 26 and 27. Denver's given up 30 or more in four of their last five games overall. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Once again, Matt Joseph, sportsmemo.com, specializes with NFL props, team totals, and other exotics. Tony Mejia and myself, Steve Merrill, both at WagerTalk.com. And don't forget, Cyber Monday has been extended at both sites for the entire week. If you missed out on the incredible special this past Monday, you didn't miss out because you have all week to still take advantage of the next 6 months, all sports for any and all handicappers that you want for just $5.99. That works out to less than $100 a month for every sport, every play, every day. $5.99 gets you the next 6 months of all sports. Cyber Monday special extended the rest of this week at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com. Thanks for watching. Best of luck this week, and be sure to check in daily for more videos right here on WagerTalk TV.